Here.
Councilmember Downey.
Present.
Councilmember Austin.
Present.
All right, so we'll have to these rules, if you would like to participate, we're implementing the procedure. And you also,
And we put on the list to speak for the citizens.
citizen participation. Like I said, the QR code, fill out the information, and we'll call you in the order you find out. Also, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Council, I would like to remind everybody, please not over talk anybody who has the floor. And you can only speak when you have the floor, okay? Thank you. Moving down, we don't have any meeting minutes, we'll have them for next month. Police Department review report, the chief is not here today, so Officer Cochran will be in his report on what you had. Very frank. Well,
So for the month of April, we had 29 calls for service in the town. One of the riders by the carjack are at an all-time high. We reached out to the county police for the patrols in the town on the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. Vehicle owners have been put on notice about parking illegally in the town. Vehicles are being ticketed and towed to the state. Patrols have been running in the town daily by the chief and myself. 23 tickets have been issued for failing to stop the stop sign. The police department traffic study has been a huge success and was completed April 1st, 2024. Traffic enforcement has been a huge success in the town over the past 2 months. Vehicle tag thefts are at an all-time high, so please be mindful of that. People are leaving their cars running in the morning and they're being stolen, so we're just asking you to make sure you turn off your cars and watch them. We also ask residents to report crime by calling 911 for emergencies, and for non-emergencies, 301-352-1200. Thank you.
thank you.
Questions?
You got it.
Is there a question related to the report? Because we should
Yes.
ask all our questions during work session.
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
And can you repeat those stats again, because I couldn't hear you from the mic?
23 tickets have been issued for failing to stop at the stop sign, speeding, and parking. Fairmount Heights Police have responded to 29 calls in the town. County Police have responded to 7 calls in the town.
How many? I'm sorry.
7.
All right.
PG County Sheriffs have responded to 5 calls in the town. 3 people have been arrested by the Fairmount Heights Police Department. 13 vehicles have been impounded by the Fairmount Heights Police Department.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. So we're going to read down the report, down the agenda. Mr. Pinckney, call for you.
Good evening to the mayor, the council, and the residents of the town of Fairmount Heights. This is my report for April the 17th, 2024. During this period, we have issued 4 civil citations totaling $4,000. We've issued 5 building permits totaling $1,920.30. During this period, we haven't issued any new business licenses. We have issued 4 rental licenses during this period totaling $600. We have not received any vacant building fees, nor have we received any vacant lot registration fees. Stop work orders. During this period, we've issued 2 stop work orders with 1106 60th Avenue for constructing more than 1 shed without a buildings permit, and 1029 58th Avenue for constructing a pergola without a building permit. Notice of correction action. During this period, we have issued 12 corrective notices. We are now in the process of issuing door hangers. Chief Moore, when he first got here, I asked him about this idea, and he had these printed. But he has a couple areas that needs to be corrected, where it says high grass weeds over 8 inches. From the county, it should be 12 inches, so we won't have to just change that from 8 inches to 12 inches. And these door hangers are done in English and in Spanish. Public Works, all 6 net zero houses on 60 Place have been set in place. Additional information. In my last report, I stated that the Board of Zoning Appeals will be holding a virtual hearing on Wednesday, March 27, 2024, to discuss the permission to validate the existing condition and obtain a building permit. The appeals number was V89-23 has been rescheduled for May the 22nd, 2024. Additional material will be forthcoming. Excuse me. On April the 11th, 2024, our office sent out 26 letters informing our owners of vacant lots that their responsibility to register the vacant lots with the town of Fairmount Heights. After issuing these letters, I have received several calls concerning the vacant lot ordinance, and these are 3 of the most frequent concerns. Why should I have to pay property taxes and then pay to register my vacant lots? If my lot is clean and free of litter, why do I have to pay the registration for my vacant lot? And I think $250 every 6 months is too much. I informed these residents that a hearing was held before the ordinance went into effect. When the ordinance went into effect on January the 19th, 2022, none of the current members of the council or mayor were seated at that time, except for Councilmember Jay Dawson, who did not vote. At this time, I take full responsibility for sending out these letters. I should have consulted with our town treasurer, since she was in the process of establishing a new payment schedule for all incoming payments. In the future, if someone wants to pay for a vacant lot registration, they will be informed that the ordinance is being reviewed. On April the 16th, 2024, I met with Inspector Jay Santiago of DPI concerning Hip Hop Chicken and Fish on Sheriff Road. It was brought to their attention by someone that Hip Hop may have a lot of maintenance violations. Inspector Santiago stated that he will forward me a copy of his report as soon as it is prepared. Inspector Santiago also stated that his office will be willing to help the town with the situation in Hamilton's bonding. At the work session on April the 9th, I was informed by Chief Moore that there was an issue with the logo on my code enforcement vehicle. The logo has been removed per Chief Moore. Okay, total citations issued during this period is $4,000. Total building permits collected during this period is $1,920.30. And total rental licenses fees collected is $600, making a total collected $2,520.30. Have any questions?
I'm sorry, Mr. President, don't open it up for questions. I'll take
Oh, okay.
complete the report.
I'm finished.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So can I ask questions?
So he wasn't here, so I will allow questions from Mr. Pinckney, but we should save our questions for when we're in work session, because that's what we do in work session.
No, we can ask questions in the town meeting. He wasn't here, I have questions.
I said, Ms. Councilwoman Downer, I said because he wasn't here, yes, I will
But
allow
even
you
if
to
he
ask.
was here, if I have
We're not
questions,
gonna go
because
back
there
and
was a
forth.
2-week,
We're not gonna
there
go
was,
back and
there was a
forth.
week period
We're not
where
gonna go
things
back
have
and forth.
happened.
If you have a question.
So,
for
Mr. Pinckney,
you
my
have the
question
floor.
is to you about removing your logo from your car. What was the problem?
They said, the information that I got, that the way the logo, I copied the logo from Mrs. Russell. I thought it was a nice looking logo. It had a picture with nice trees, farmland, with the county's logo. And they said, I think it was copyright issue or something like that. So I removed it.
All right. You were reading something from a vacant lot ordinance or something?
Yeah.
What were you reading from? Because I'm looking at the report and I don't see what you're reading from.
You don't have, oh, okay, yeah.
I have what was here.
Pardon?
I have what was seated here.
Okay, yeah, I had to do some upgrade.
Okay,
But
I'm
it should be
sorry.
in there without, about the ordinance.
I'm looking at the police report, and then I'm going down to Ms. Arumi's report. So I don't see.
But you don't have my report.
I have one page that says Mr. Pinckney, Code Enforcement.
It doesn't have the order.
All right, so just do me a favor, just,
I could make you a copy.
no problem, I just was wondering, what were you reading? That was your report you were reading
Right.
from? Okay. All right, well, I just wanted to know more about it, but I'll look at when you give me a copy.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. Town
That's it.
manager, Mr. Roman? Thank you, Mr. Pinckney.
It's a new ordinance? No,
Is-
we ain't vote on a new ordinance, so it can't.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Councilmember Oscar. Good seeing you and welcome back. Okay. There's not a lot of changes to my report. Okay. But for citizens, because some of the administrative tasks I want to report on, they were raised in our economic development meeting. The Maryland Department of Transportation Annual Road Improvement Report for the year ending December 30, 2023 was signed and submitted by the mayor. I attended the Legit Insurance Renewal Workshop on March the 20th. That was in La Plata, Maryland. There were a lot of issues and areas that they covered, especially the use of drones. Again, I would certainly like to applaud Mrs. Russell for the updates, and I'm going to ask again to council and staff, please provide Mrs. Russell with your bios and pictures. This is very important. Lack of this information can impact the town on legal matters, or maybe I should say, lack of information has already impacted the town on legal matters and in attracting partners and resources. When we talk to our partners such as PEPCO, DOE, and other partners, they would like to know something about the people that they're doing business with.
The restrooms will be off.
I
in 10 minutes.
contacted Cindy Stone, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, about the availability of the Circuit Rider program. There will be more available information at the end of this year, 24-25 state legislative session. I think that is about to end. So I will keep you updated, and hopefully we will be able to apply, participate. Oh, okay, right. So I'm sure I'll get an update this week. For Public Works, grass season has started. The department will be removing all invasive vines from trees and trim all low-hanging branches where necessary. The department will stencil numbers, put numbers on all drain covers, and we'll keep a spreadsheet. It would certainly assist with the various county departments when we have to call in drain or clogging of water drain system. Mr. Cradle has ordered signs for no dumping, $1,000 fines for dumping in all alleys and any other place in town. We put fox traps out in the park area across from townhouses along 56th Street, and we ordered 5 no trucks allowed signs along Sheriff Road. This is a reminder to the citizens and the council. Please keep me updated on any outages or lights with a purple glow. That's usually a sign that the lights are about to go out. Economic Community Development, Mr. Pinckney already stated that Warren Builders and other contractors are erect. In my report, it says 4 homes. They have now erected all 6 homes. There's some discussion on plans for a funeral home at 5443 Addison Road. I contacted the Maryland Department of Planning. There are no hearings scheduled for a funeral home by Wade Funeral Home Incorporated in Fairmount Heights at that address. It is the practice of the department to post hearing information at the address in question to allow comments and concerns from the impact area. Also, I'm going to have to go to my updated page, my updated report, because some of this information is updated. I did speak to Stephanie Prostel. She's the executive director of HIP. And as I mentioned, all 6 houses are now on the foundations. Next week, the installation of utility work will begin. This will include the installation of water, sewer lines, electric lines, and cable lines. HIP is now waiting for permits to install the shed structure for the pocket park. During late May, the construction of the front porches is to begin. This work will not require the closing of the street. Stephanie and Mr. Pinckney will work out details about construction workers parking along the street. I think she sent a notice today concerning parking behind the church or a town hall. So, okay, all right, I'll make sure you get that. In addition, a possible funding through Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, Amy Fry, Chief of Staff of the County Council Chair Jolie Ivy, requested town's interest in learning about 2 priorities that may be supported by the commission. In my past report, I asked for $100,000 funding to complete the remaining 13 alleys. At the mayor's suggestion, I requested additional funding, $250,000 from the engineer study to daylight the headwaters of the Beaver Dam Creek. Some of you may not know that the Beaver Dam Creek runs through Fairmount Heights. Little did I know until I was involved in the work we're doing on the alleys that the headwaters for the creek starts at 60th and K Street. I don't know whether you've been to Frederick or some other towns where they daylighted the water and streams and created a little park and a little walkway. And I think there's a small type of design in Bladensburg as well. In addition, and finally, I asked for $45,000 to install 2 greenhouses to plant and cultivate native trees to sell back to the county at a reduced price. I live in a municipality. When I go to town hall, they charge me $160 per tree. And also, the second would be to cultivate or to be able to plant vegetables to make available to the residents. Back to the DOE report, Carol Barth, Tree Conservation and Conservation Landscape, and Mary Abe, Landscape Architect. They planted 114 trees at the ravine site. This includes the lower section near Sheriff Road and the upper section near Market Circle. The final plans will be presented to the council, and I've stated here in the April meeting, but I think we have to move that to the May meeting. The Green Team, and as I mentioned, seeking approval to use a section of the 4 acres to design and plant a community garden, and that's why I asked for $45,000. Also a reminder to the citizens, I'm glad we have a lot of citizens here tonight, to the mayor and council, year 2025, the town will be celebrating its 90th year of existence. This is a remarkable milestone. Please move forward with creating a planning committee for the event. I recommend that the committee include elected officials, citizens, staff, and others. And finally, upcoming events. Because of size of staff and other priorities, we are only participating in Earth Day. And the theme this year is a commitment to end the use of plastic for the sake of human, planet, and planetary health. I'll be working with Public Works to plant more spring flowers in the flower bed and to fill the 2 planters with lush spring flowers. And Mr. Pinckney and everybody else, which I didn't add in my report, as a result of us walking the alleyway, one of the projects that we can work on is clean up the alleyway and the debris behind the yellow house. I think it's 5999 K Street. And so, this may be new to you, so that's after my conversation with Mayor Martin today. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Oh, one other thing. I think you received something from Mrs. Russell today, the Prince George's County Annual Action Plan. If you get a chance, read it. It is available in my office, so you don't have to download all the 91 pages.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Now we'll do the treasurer's report from Ms. Walker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, and staff. I'm doing a summary as of the end of March 2024. So our total budget, our total revenue budget is $1,129,789.22. As of the end of March, we have collected $859,564.08, which includes revenue from property taxes, income taxes, money that we get from highway user, from police aid. Right now, we're not using the building, but we do receive money from building hall rentals. We receive money from fines and violations from the police department, as well as the code. Our expenditure budget for 2024 is $1,437,068, of which we have spent $786,765. Our other income, which accounts for our grants and other expenses, total $334,644. I would like to say that I have met with the mayor and council. We had our first budget planning session for the FY25 budget. During that meeting, I shared with the mayor and council, as well as all those in attendance, that for fiscal year 25, the town of Fairmount Heights will have to hold a constant yield tax hearing. During the budget meeting, as well as last week's work session, I did go over with the mayor and council what the constant yield tax hearing entails. I gave an example of the advertisement that we have to put in the paper. I will just say that for all the citizens here, when you're required to have a tax hearing, you have to publicize it in a paper of circulation within the town, within the municipality. The tax hearing is held if the rate that you are charging is going to result in an increase, additional revenue. So as I shared with the mayor and council, the current rate is 43 cents per $100 of assessed value. If the tax rate remains at that rate, the town it's estimated that we will receive an additional $35,000, which means you have to have a tax hearing. Even if you don't change the rate, it's considered a tax increase, and so we have to have a tax hearing. Mayor and council, I'm going to ask you, if you have not already done so, I'm going to ask you to please meet amongst yourselves about the information that I've shared with you regarding the current rate, regarding whether you're going to keep it where it is. Are you going to consider lowering it? To maintain the same income, the tax rate would have to be lowered to 40 cents per $100 of assessed value. So again, I'm asking you all to meet to discuss that, so that I will know what to send to have approved. The county will assist, and they will read the notice to be sure that the wording is correct. You cannot send the notice out without the right information. We don't have the right to change any of the wording, and they will verify the numbers. So I'm asking you to have that meeting so you all can discuss that. It is a public meeting, so citizens, you will have an opportunity to hear from the council and then to be a part to see what the vote is and what the decision is. Why is this information so important? Because we're doing the budget, and so we have to know what our anticipated revenue will be from the from property taxes. Ms. Sarumi updated you on Market Circle, so I will not share anything other than to say we have, the first part of it has been done, which the trees and what have you have been removed, the milling has been put down, and so now that piece of it has been done, and we're able to go to the next piece. And so we did use our highway user funds for that piece of it. We have not used the grant funding, because the grant funding that we received from PEPCO was $10,000. We did not use that funding. We used our highway user funding for that. The bathrooms downstairs, the renovations are going well. If you have not had an opportunity to peek your head in, please take opportunity to do that. They started with the men's restroom. So the men's restroom, it has been painted. The floors have been installed. They were installing the toilets today, and I'm not sure if they got the sinks in. We ran into an issue up here, and we were anticipating this because every time we do any plumbing in the basement, it causes a problem up here. So we ran into a leak up here, and so thankfully the plumber was still here, and so we had to address the issue up here. They were planning to start painting the women's room today. Again, I'm not sure if they got to that because we did run into having a leak up here. Was it on Monday or Tuesday? I forget which. I think it was Monday. We had a training. We, meaning myself, Mr. Pinkney, Ms. Russell, Ms. Hodge, Officer Coghill, Chief Moore could not be there. We had a training with Allpaid. They are the vendor for our electronic payments. As the council is aware, we are trying to go cashless in Fairmount Heights. We are trying to make sure that everything is done through electronic payments. The chief had expressed his concerns, and he had said that effective April, his department was going cashless. So one of the problems that we were having is that staff, everyone was not able to use the equipment that we have. So we had a meeting, a training on Monday. I believe everyone has a better understanding of how to use the equipment. Ms. St. John, I do need to get with you because we will now be able to offer payments on our website. But there are some things that we do need to work through. Ms. Hodge pointed out a couple things that we have to talk about, and that reminded me why Ms. Tucker and I didn't do it this way before. For example, if you go on and you pay for a building permit online, you can't get the permit because you need to come in to get the permit. If you go online and we have the option to pay for building hall rental, you don't have a way to reserve that space. So there's some reasons which I couldn't think of during the meeting for why Ms. Tucker and I hadn't done it this way, but nonetheless, we're going to figure this out. We're going to move forward, but it will be something that we are able to roll out sooner than later so that citizens, you will have the ability, as well as non-citizens, to make payments online. This will create an environment which is a lot safer for our staff, because accepting cash, we should not continue to do that. And then also, we have had some issues with accepting personal checks. The last thing I will say is, Mayor and Council, if you have not done so already, please, please, please make sure that Mrs. Russell is aware if you are attending MML. I would encourage everyone to take a look at the courses that are being offered at MML. If you've taken everything, then you may not have a reason that you want to go. I respect that. Please take a look at what they're offering and be sure that there is something that, one, either relates to your current committee that you're serving on, and or something that will be able to support some of the projects that we have in town that we are planning, that we're doing currently, or that we're planning to do. So again, please take the time and look at that for Ms. Russell. My request is the end of this week. so that we can move forward. We have already missed the early registration, and we do not want to go into the third tier. And those are the main things that I want to update you all on. And I guess the very last thing I will say is once you've had your conversation about the constant yield, then we need to set our next budget planning session. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. I need to go and take care of, I'll be in my office, okay?
Moving down the agenda, under old business, recess resolution. I will read this resolution. We already discussed it in work session that we would vote on this in this meeting, so I'll read this resolution into the record. So it's Town of Fairmount Heights Resolution 0224, resolution to recess the council meetings for the month of August, introduced by Mayor Stewart. Whereas the town council acknowledges the importance of providing adequate time for council members to engage with their constituents, recharge, and address personal and professional obligations, and whereas the month of August typically coincides with increased vacation schedules, resulting in potential scheduling conflicts and decreased attendance at council meetings. Significant time to their constituents, family, and personal affairs, thereby promoting overall well-being and work-life balance among council members. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town council hereby approves the following. The council hereby recesses its regular meetings for the month of August. During the recess period, council members are encouraged to prioritize constituent engagement, attend community events, and address personal and professional obligations. Emergency meetings may be convened at the discretion of the council president or by the majority vote of the council members. Should urgent matters arise that require immediate action, the council shall resume its regular scheduled meeting in the month following the recess period, with the first meeting scheduled on the second Tuesday in September. This resolution shall take effect 20 days immediately upon adoption. Be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect upon its passage. Madam Clerk, can you take the roll? The vote.
Councilmember Oster,
Aye.
Councilmember Downing,
Aye.
Councilmember Woodopson,
I approve August, but not December.
I didn't read all,
She took
December. I just said
December.
Only August, okay, yes. Okay.
Councilmember St. John,
Aye.
Councilmember Luckledge,
Aye. We always did all.
Vice Chairman Barnhart, Mayor Stewart.
Aye. The ayes have it. I will send this down the line for people to sign it. Second page. Thank you, Council. I'm sorry. Okay. Next agenda item is the new town logo. Mr. Rumi, did we still need to discuss that? I think we.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just wanted to know, why are we now signing a resolution for August when it's been always? Why does it have to be implicated in a resolution now with the signature?
Because that's the way it's supposed to be done.
With the signature, you're saying over the years, it's always been
Oh,
done.
for no resolution, I'm sorry. For a resolution, it requires a signature.
I'm saying, why do we need a resolution in place when it has been a seated date always for in August to be an excuse?
Oh, because there's nothing in writing. The charter says we're obligated to have a meeting once a month. If we don't have anything that says we can recess, then we'll be in violation of the charter.
So we've been in violation. What you're saying basically is for the 19 years of my being seated, we've followed through with something that wasn't
I'm not sure how the previous administration has
No,
done
I'm
it,
just
but I have
saying that
consulted,
you've never
and I'm trying to
found-
do it the way I was told to do it.
Okay, I'm just saying there's no documentation for a resolution ever.
What she's asking is, because we've always taken a break in August, all these years, that you're putting it in as a resolution now because you want it documented.
Yes.
And I think maybe her concern was, when you originally presented it,
It
it
said
was for
December.
December and for August.
Right, and
And
I
then we
changed it.
discussed it. Oh, so then you changed it?
Yes,
So
just
now
for
you're
August.
just doing it for what we've always been used to as August, but it's being documented?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rumi.
Oh, okay. For clarification, in terms of the logo, Mr. Pinckney mentioned in his report that he was asked to remove the logo from his vehicle. The history behind that is one of copyright infringement. We had in the middle of our logo, Prince George's County logo. So that's a copyright infringement. I had a legal review done by our attorney. He suggested, no, he didn't suggest. He in fact told me to remove it. So until we bring it back before the mayor and council, Councilmember Wood Dotson had a terrific idea. And I will put together some of those facts and present it to you in the May meeting. I think one of the things she had talked about was the use of schools, students and others to come up with a logo and then bring it back before the council.
But it wasn't just a logo. I had said if we brought in pictures of the shields, it's never been understood that our Tri-City, Capitol Heights, and Sea Pleasant are shields. Within the shield, that's how
Right.
it was made. If we could kind of piggyback, it would give some
Right.
authenticity.
Right. Yeah, I
to us.
started my research already.
Yeah.
One of the concerns I had with Sea Pleasant is they have an American Indian.
Right.
I found no history of American Indians living in Sea Pleasant.
Right.
But there
But
could
they
be
use-
a legal reason as to why they have the American Indian there. So I will be bringing this back before the council at the May 2024
Table
meeting.
it until May.
So table to May.
Thank you. Go, Councilwoman Down.
For the edification of others, because I didn't know this, the difference between a seal and what are you working on, a logo?
Yeah, we're trying to come up with, yeah, that's your seal. And so we're trying to come up with a logo that would have more of a message about what your town is about. Yeah.
Okay, a couple of years ago, I took something down to MML, and because all of the things at MML, all of the, what are they logos or are they seals?
It could be both.
Both, it was both.
All right, so will we have to reevaluate what was taken to them?
Absolutely, yes.
So I have a picture of that?
Yeah, would you kindly share that with me, please?
All right, and I think it might be that.
Okay, okay.
So if it's that, we don't have to bother it.
That's a dummy.
No, that's your seal. We're talking about coming up with a logo which may have additional information.
All right.
Okay.
So we've never had a logo? All right.
Or a seal. That was given when the town was incorporated.
Thank you.
It's
You're
a
welcome.
given,
All right.
a dummy seal.
Okay.
I would've
Moving
kept
down
all
the
of that.
agenda, discussion of security camera program. Funder cost, return cost, refund status. Councilwoman Downing.
Just to make sure that anyone who has received one of the free cameras is aware that it has been a recall on them, that apparently they're able to tap in from different places to see when you leave your home. So that people are aware that they can turn them back in at this point. That's it.
Yes, we did send an email to everybody who received the camera, and it's on the website. So we did, and social media. All right, discussion of the Ring Corporation Community Program. Councilwoman Downing.
In reference, just to piggyback off of, because I think having a camera program, DC has a free camera program. One of the things that one of the former officers talked about was how people are using technology to replace police officers because they're so hard to come by. I'm talking to the corporation Ring Camera so that they can give either a rebate or try to donate a number of Ring cameras to the town of Fairmount Heights so that we can all, as many of us as possible, some of you are already may be in the Ring community, where if you have a Ring camera, you can get alerts to tell you what's going on. And what I want to do is develop a Ring community just for the town of Fairmount Heights so we can be abreast on things going on. That's it.
Thank you. Discussion regarding the status of the fox infestation, cage purchases, and pricing. Councilmember Downey?
I'm probably the only one that's having problems with foxes. Anybody else seeing foxes? And yesterday, I saw two of them together. And I was informed today when I attended the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning monthly meeting in Hyattsville, or what is it? No, that's in, down on Bladensburg, either way, I went there 10 o'clock this morning, and I spoke before them because I'm thinking to myself, Mr. Cradle said that someone has stolen the cages that we purchased.
I wasn't aware of that.
He was on a truck, and they went to look for it, and the gentleman on the trash truck came back and said, Mr. Cradle is gone. So now what I said is, wait a minute, if Park and Planning owns all of these two parks, let me go and talk to them. And they, in fact, said that they are experiencing a higher volume of wildlife. Yeah. And they are developing a team. And I told them, I said, you know what, really, whatever you guys can do for us, what we can do to help you be a benefit to us, but we are adjacent a park, and we got a big park in Fairmount Heights. And the director said they have a young lady that's assigned to us. We have a meeting on the 22nd to discuss it further. So that will be it. And if you guys have seen foxes and you're concerned about them, certainly hit me up and let me know so I can put you guys on the list. And what they said is call the park service. They gave me the 800 number, and they say call them, and that the more our numbers go up, the more, and I also talked to them about putting cameras on 56th because they are dumping there, there's prostitution, and they're the foxes. So that's another thing.
Did you have the number that you wanted people to call?
What I'll do is I'll give it to the clerk so she can post it for everybody.
Okay, thank you. All right. Discussion of probability of being a resource to the citizens of cage rentals in lieu of the county's exhaustion of the cage supply.
Everybody tells me call the county, they have cages. I call, and the county says that they don't have any more. So what I proposed to the mayor and council at our work session is that the town of Fairmount Heights purchases a surplus of cages. And because we as citizens know where the foxes are, that we can be able to come to the town of Fairmount Heights and say, here's my $20 deposit, can I get a cage? And when I catch the fox and I find somebody to take him, or we have a lot of, what's those things called, groundhogs, or, and then it's raccoons, a lot of raccoons. So once it's caught and you take him down Southern Maryland and you bring us back our cage, we give you back your $20. I thought that that was a good idea. But apparently the council was like, nah, we ain't feeling it. But when Mr. Cradle said that the one that they put in the park disappeared, he then said, Mr. Cradle said to me, Councilwoman Downing, it might be a good idea for the cages to be put on private property. Then we kind of can keep an eye on them better. So I would still like to make a motion for the mayor and council to consider purchasing the $44 cages. And if they are like my crab pots, where I can stack them inside of each other, there won't be the problem of storage. So I'd like for us to talk to Mr. Cradle some more and see, because to be a resource to our citizens, I think is ultimately what we want to do. And I'm going to leave it there.
So are you putting a motion on the floor?
No, I'm not. I would like to discuss it further once we find out from Mr. Cradle whether or not the cages are stackable. Because if they're not, I know that you guys are already challenged with storage. So I wouldn't want to add to that. So can we talk to Mr. Cradle and talk about that?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Susan had to do some cutting of some checks, so can we come back to number 7 when she's back in the room?
Oh, Susan already said that she sent an email to Prince George's County to see what they can do for us with the wildlife.
Okay. Thank you for that update. Discussion of status of said Robert Rules of Order. That training has been scheduled for May 30th
All right.
from 7 to 9:30, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
And can our residents attend?
Yes, they can.
All right. In case you guys ever want to do this and you want to learn how to speak the order and stuff, that we'll have a meeting, and I'm pretty sure they'll put it on the website.
We will advertise the training. It's not a meeting, it's training.
And it's, how many, 2 hours?
It's probably between 2 and 2.5 hours.
All right, sound good.
So I would like for the council to attend. Okay, number 9, notification of custodial of records for the town of Fairmount Heights. That has been up, Councilwoman Downing.
Whenever you have a need for either a FOIA for information, one of the things that they ask for is that the town of Fairmount Heights have what they call a custodian of record. And that's a person who keeps those records. Ms. Tucker used to be that person. Now it's my understanding that it is
Ms. Russell?
Ms. Russell. Thank you, Ms. Russell.
Yep, it has been updated. We have the notification from the county that says everybody's, Ms. Tucker's been removed, Ms. Russell's been added. Chief Watkins was on there for something, he's been removed, and Chief
Yes.
Moore has been added. So
Thank
it's
you.
been taken care of. Number 10, discussion of status of Prince George's County Art and Humanities Council Fiscal Year 21 Public Art Grant to Fairmount Heights. Councilwoman Downey?
Did Susan, she's gone, so Susan would have to give the report for that.
Okay, so we can table it till she returns.
All right?
Discussion of status of wrapping all police vehicles in the town of Fairmount Heights. Councilwoman Downey?
When I was looking at some of the Old Town meetings, I saw where former Councilwoman White, whose position I have taken over, had made a request that all of the police vehicles have the Fairmount Heights logo on them. And I think that she was adamant about that because in the past, we've had problems with our police cars being driven all over the state and out of the state. We discussed it, and if I'm not mistaken, we were supposed to vote on that. But I asked the chief, why would you not want your vehicle without the Fairmount Heights logo? And he said, very eloquently, that sometimes he want to do surveillance. Sometimes he, has a need for an unmarked car. And because the citizens of Fairmount Heights have been through so much with their police cars, I don't know. I think I would like to find out from the council, what do they think?
Are you putting a motion on the floor?
Yeah, how do I do that? All right.
I think we should have a discussion first before you.
You think we should have a discussion? All right, so
We
if,
discussed it in work session.
Regarding the logo on the car.
Yeah, we discussed it at work session last week.
Oh, okay.
So if Councilwoman, no, he wasn't here. So Councilwoman Downey, if you'd like to put a motion on the floor to take a vote on it.
well, you know
can.
what, because it's not that major, maybe, Oscar, we can discuss it at next time's work session? All right, if I can, we can,
You want to table it? Okay.
thank you.
All right. Discussion of the request and status of all supporting documents and for the use of all ARPA funds, including and not limited to all signed resolutions, reports, and citizens' engagement participation notification. Councilwoman Downey?
Because I came on the council later, I am a stickler for budgets. I'm retired at 50 because I manage my money well. I'm looking for documentation to see how the $600,000 was spent that was given to us through the ARPA funds. I have made a requirement or request to the mayor and council for the resolutions, and I'm being told that they're not available. So I have a concern because documentation, one of the things that we look forward to is record retention in the town of Fairmount Heights and record keeping. So, I'm sorry, Mayor, what were you saying about why those weren't?
As I explained at the work session, I did create the ARPA spending plan. That was my first resolution. When we made reallocations to the funds, we reallocated funds, I didn't save that first draft. I just revised and the date that we revised it. I didn't say what we did in it. That was a mistake on my part. I didn't update the document correctly. However, I have been doing research, going back, looking at meeting notes, trying to figure out what changes were made, which I've now almost about 80% complete, and I should have that information to you hopefully by mid next week.
Okay, and I remember during the work session 2 weeks ago, you said that you sent me something.
I did. I emailed you the...
I never received anything. And
Can you pull up the email?
to close this out,
Because Susan sent you a document and then I attached the...
Susan sent me a list of the people who received the utility
She
grants.
sent us the spending plan.
So to me, it was a spending plan. But what I would like to see is you have a total, if I'm not mistaken, there was a resolution and then it was revised 4 times of how you were going to spend the money.
Right.
So what I don't understand is I can't get anything that was signed and filed for record.
I did send you, St. John, do you have the email?
April 1st.
April 1st, I did send you the ARPA spending plan. Susan also sent you the spending, what was already spent. She sent you that. So you did, we did send it to you. I don't know if you received it, but we did send it.
Okay, no, I received the spending, but not how it was originally allocated, and then how you all changed the allocation the first
And
time.
I explained to you that that was my first resolution. I wasn't aware I was supposed to keep the revised copies, but I am now going back and finding those
But
copies.
you're not the only person who's running this town government. You have a secretary, you have a treasurer, you have a town manager.
Right.
There should be record retentions that if something happens to you, we still have documentation. We
I
get ready.
completely understand.
Yeah, we
All
get
I'm
ready to
saying is
have-
I have the final version of the resolution that I created. I just don't have the revisions that I made.
So the 4 revisions before this one, you don't have them.
I'm researching it now, Councilwoman Downing, and I
I
said I
just-
would
I
have
guess-
it for you by mid next week. I'm still working on it
All right.
to tell you what they were, but I can recall them to you.
Oh,
One
no.
was when
I don't
we
do verbal.
reallocated, we
Yeah.
reallocated $20,000 to purchase the car for code enforcement. We increased the utility assistance amount from 500 to 800. That was a vote by the council. Oscar will recall that.
From
We also-
500 to 800, I don't understand.
The Utility Assistance Program number 2, the original amount that we set was 500.
Really?
The council voted to increase it to 8. That was one of the revisions. And then I believe another revision was to change the Community Assistance number 1 from 800
I
to
just need to see,
1,500.
I need to see.
But I believe those were the changes.
Well, I just
But
need
I'm
to
going
see.
to provide you with the documentation you requested. Just give me a little bit of time to find it.
All right, I think.
Councilwoman Wood Dawson?
With that she has said as well, with the resolution, each time the change was made in the testament of who was, on this last one, it has Mr. Rumi's name, so maybe if you, I guess in your trying to find what it is, whoever was the testament, they should be able to pull up, because their name is on, should be on the signature page, which we don't have any copy of. That's what I'm saying.
I'm well aware.
All right, and finally.
Is it
Fine.
related to this agenda item?
Absolutely. What I did was, I did a search for ARPA, Capitol Heights. And when I went to their website, they had all of their resolutions, they had their ARPA what's it called, the committees that they had set up to figure out how they gonna spend this money. They had all types of documentation, what was the legal ramification, what they could use it for. When I went and I did ARPA and I did Sea Pleasant, they had their resolutions, they had everything there because they knew tomorrow there's a meeting for ARPA closeout, telling us what documentation we're gonna need to submit to the government to show the use of that money.
Right.
That is my concern.
Okay, we'll have that documentation for the government, and we are striving very hard to make sure our website reflects all of our documentation. So we are working on that. Remember, we just launched a new website. The old one wasn't the greatest, and we just launched a new one. So we're updating it every day, adding more and more documentation as we go along. So hopefully we'll get to the standards that you're accustomed to dealing with. All right, a discussion of additional code enforcement personnel to use of ARPA funds. Councilwoman Downey?
I asked Susan, could we use, because if I'm not mistaken, we have, apparently what she's saying is, you guys have about 300,000 left. That 300,000 has been allocated. It hasn't been spent, it's been allocated. And if I'm understanding correctly, we could reallocate money.
We can.
And I was asking Susan, would it be possible to use some of that money to get a second code enforcement officer on the weekends or in the evenings? Because I'm telling you now, people be tearing it up on the weekends. On the weekends, they building all kind of stuff.
And at night.
So would you like to put a motion on the floor to
No,
reallocate?
Susan told me that she has to check to see whether or not ARPA funds can be used for that.
Okay.
So once again, we're waiting for Susan.
Okay. All right. And number 14, training, discussion of training for code enforcement personnel. Councilwoman Downey.
Wonderful. Mr. Pinckney, I reached out to DPI, and I have us both scheduled for PG Atlas training, or have you already taken it? You've already taken it? So you're able, the mayor asked me, when I was explaining to her about the number of rental properties that we have in the town, and how I'm really kind of brokenhearted to see the people that come in here and they buy these houses cheap, and then they rent them out, and then they go live somewhere nicer. They are benefiting off of the town of Fairmount Heights. And some of them have said to me, I don't pay the town of Fairmount Heights nothing. I go to the county and I get my rental license. And I think I don't think that's fair to us. So what I asked the mayor and council to consider was hiring a second code enforcement officer, because my calculations
I thought that
are-
was the previous discussion. We're talking about
No,
training.
I'm talking about the training.
Right, training.
Because you asked me to produce the report to say how many residents we have in the town, how many homes we got in the town of Fairmount Heights, how many are labeled by the county and state as primary residents, and how many are not primary residents. Because what I am thinking is, instead of us raising the taxes on these citizens, why don't we collect the money from people who are benefiting off of our town?
Okay, is this dealing with
Because
training?
when you asked me to give you some numbers, I didn't know that Mr. Pinckney had.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Downey.
I didn't know he
I'm
had
talking
taken the training.
Okay.
So now you can ask him how many non-resident, because that's how the county labels them, primary residents, not primary residents. So Mr. Pinckney, I think she wanted to know how many not prime.
I don't want to know
But
that,
you know
Mr.
what,
Pinckney.
you can
I
pull
can
that
speak for
with
myself.
PG Atlas. PG Atlas, we can pull that. So if you had the training, I thought maybe, but if you want,
I had this training in 2014.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they got a whole new system.
And I go on tax and assessment records to get that information, whether it's primary resident or not primary resident.
But you can only do one at a time.
Yeah.
So you and I can work together with the people from PG Atlas, and they will take the whole municipality of Fairmount Heights and kick out an Excel spreadsheet, and they'll give you that, they'll give us that information. That was what,
Councilman Moore, let me ask you something.
uh-huh.
You're saying all this about additional code enforcement officer. You have to realize I only work part-time. I'm only doing 6 hours a day.
We did 2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, we can get you some help.
If I have more hours, well,
He could just simply do additional hours. That's fine.
You can do an additional,
He's only doing 6. So if we
Okay.
increase his
and I do work
hours,
on some
then
Saturdays.
instead
okay,
of a new person.
okay, sound good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So Mr. Bigney, do you think you might need a refresher on that particular training?
Possibly.
Yes, please look into that, Mr. Bingham. That's a great idea.
And
All right. Thank you. That concludes the agenda items. Now we're going to move down and report to mayor's report. To reports, not just mayor's report. All right. So for the month of end of March and up until today, I attended the town's economic development meeting with several community leaders and residents. It was a great meeting, and our residents had a lot of great input and ideas to move the town forward. I will allow Councilwoman Leftwich to provide additional information on that meeting. I also attended the 39th Annual Prince George's County Women's History Month Luncheon. It celebrated the meaningful impact women make in the county. It was an amazing event, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to attend, and I want to personally thank County Council Chair Jolene Ivy for inviting me to that event. On March 30th, myself, Vice Chair Barnhart, Mr. Pinckney, and other members of the staff and council attended Mr. Robert Richardson's Boy Scouts event. Mr. Richardson had to complete a community beautification project in order to meet the requirements to go from a Boy Scout to an Eagle Scout. And the significance behind that was only 1% of the Boy Scouts make Eagle Scouts. And then out of that, only 1% of the Eagle Scouts are African American. So that was a huge accomplishment for that young man, and we are so proud of him. On the same day, I also attended Mr. Colbert's funeral. And I've been conducting weekly checks on Mrs. Colbert, Miss Baker, since his passing, just to make sure she's okay and if she needs anything. I'm in the process of rolling out the Town of Fairmount Heights Lawn Care Assistance Program. The program is aimed at providing support to senior citizens or individuals with disabilities within our community who may face challenges maintaining their lawns for the spring and summer season. Additional information about the program will be disseminated through the community before May 1st. If you know anybody who meets the minimum requirements and need assistance, please tell them to reach out to us. I created 2 resolutions. One we passed today, and I'm on the process of completing or finalizing the grant submission resolution. Currently, we don't have a lot of stuff in place, but Councilwoman Downey mentioned that she had applied for a grant on behalf of the town of Fairmount Heights.
I did?
Yes.
What was that?
At the meeting, not this month, last
What
month.
kind of grant was that?
I don't know. You said you applied
Girl,
for
I
some-
wish I did know how to write a grant.
Well, that's what you said.
Really?
So,
No. I
that
want you
made
to
me-
pull that
I'm
up,
sorry.
because I wouldn't say that. I don't apply for
Does anybody else
grants.
recall her saying that? Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Okay, we can pull the minutes, but anyway, let
Yeah,
me finish,
'cause I don't even
I'm
know
sorry,
how to-
let me
I don't
finish
even
my
know how- I
report.
wish I did know how to write grants.
So that made me think that, how are people applying for grants on the behalf of the town of Fairmount Heights? So, and I looked through our resolutions, we don't have anything in place, so I'm creating a resolution on the process of applying for grants on behalf of the town, because we want to make sure that if you do, and you use in the town should benefit from that grant, right? So we want to make sure we have something in place to safeguard us against that.
Wow. All these years, this town been in.
Let's see, I also created the new council rules and regulations, and we will be reviewing those at the first council review charter meeting, June 1st. If anybody would like to attend, you're welcome to come out. Flyers will be going out very shortly, June 1st, from 9 to 12. The flyers will be coming out closer to June 1st. We already know about the parliamentary training. Okay, and this is the last 2 more things. Myself, Councilwoman St. John, and Ms. Russell created the communication survey that has already been disseminated through the community, so be on the lookout for that. Ms. Russell, can you give us a little update. So we've already sent it out and we've already got responses back. Ms. Russell, can you give us an update?
Just looking at the data that we received so far and the responses, it looks like one of the more.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on, before you say that. So on the communication survey, it asks how you want to receive notifications from the town, and it gives you all these options, either by email, by,
Mail, flyer, the town website, social media, or the TV channel.
so it gives you options to select how you want to receive town communications. The goal is to hopefully get away from flyers, so we're trying to figure out how you want to be communicated with. So if some people say flyers, we'll continue to deliver flyers to their address. If some people say social media, then we expect them to go to social media to get their information. So we've completed that survey, it's out to the community, and you can go ahead and read preliminary results.
So far, just from it going out yesterday, it looks like the preferred method of receiving information is the town's website. That's the highest so far. Surprisingly, the lowest was mail.
Mail,
Second lowest was the TV channel.
TV channel. Okay.
The second highest was social media.
Okay, so we sent the survey out just so we could get a feel for what the people want. So we'll update you as we go down the line with this program. And what else?
Question.
Hold on, wait a minute. And then I'll allow Councilwoman St. John to fill in the rest of the information about that project. And I plan to attend Forest Heights 75th anniversary event this weekend. So hopefully I'll get some ideas and steal a couple things from them so we can start planning our 90th. And that concludes my report. And you had a question?
Is the survey, does it give you multiple? I want email and
Yes,
fly, okay.
yes,
You get a primary and a secondary.
All right, so 2 choices.
yes.
All right, thank you.
Councilwoman Woodall?
When you said it was disseminated, how, through social media?
No, it's a flyer that went out to the community.
Oh, okay, because I didn't get one at my house.
Okay.
I didn't get a flyer
got a bulk trash
either.
one, I didn't get one at my house.
I didn't get a flyer about the
No,
survey.
I didn't get one.
You get bulk trash.
Yes.
That's all.
It's attached to that.
It's in Spanish.
No, there also, it's a book.
No, mine wasn't.
It's right on the back of that, yep, the other page. Right there with that little, to the left, in your left hand. That's,
here?
yep.
This say bulk trash.
Oh, community survey.
Oh,
All right, sound good.
so you did receive it,
But
Councilwoman?
what I'm asking you, for those, my neighbor, I'm glad you said it, he brought it to me. He's 92 years old, he wanted to know how was he supposed to, he didn't even know what it was.
I understand. So
So-
for those people, Councilwoman
you-
St. John is gonna tell you how we're gonna roll out the phase 2
So
of
you
this
can
survey.
just, I can answer it for him tonight, and
Yes,
you
she'll
can mail
relay that
his and
information to
mine.
you.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion? With the data from PG Atlas, they're able to give you all of your residents 65 and over. Can we possibly use mailing? Because I understand we have a mailing thing. Can we mail them maybe something to say this is what we're doing? Can we use that as a, to consider?
I don't have an issue with that, the council wants to mail it out, but however, we've been using the flyer method all these years, now you want me to put it
Well,
in the
no,
mail?
I
We
think
used to
they,
mail too.
yeah, they used to
Okay.
mail, they even.
All right, well,
Okay.
We have a stamp machine back there.
I get it, but the council would have to vote on that because there's a cost associated with that, but, I don't,
All right,
would you
so
like to
we'll
put a
put that
motion on the
on.
floor? I don't,
Yeah.
okay. So that concludes my report. Councilwoman, Vice Chair Barnhart?
My report's gonna be short. April 24th of this month, we are having a yard sale in the rear of the town hall. All the proceeds that people are booking their slots will go to the scholarship funding for the youth in the community. May 11th is Mother's Day Walkathon with the mayor and council. That event is from 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. in the morning. I will be getting with Chief as soon as possible as a Friday for street shut down in certain areas that we're gonna walk, come back to the town hall and have refreshments. No Public Works meeting this month with the Public Work Director, Laura Carr. She's the head person for the Public Works Department for all the municipalities. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman St. John?
Can you correct that to 27?
Oh, 27, I'm so sorry. It's
27.
April 27th for the yard sale. Yes,
And I'm sorry, how much is the fees?
25.
All right, so it's $25 and that goes towards the scholarship?
Yes.
All right, good. You know what, that would have been, next time you might want to put that on there, because they gonna think that it's free.
If you scan the QR code, all the information will be put up on there. About the application process, everything that you can sell, can't sell, the fees and everything else. You can't bring the tables from the town hall, you have to provide your own. That's in the application.
Oh, so you gotta scan.
You QR code.
I know, y'all so techie, and we.
Everything you do nowadays is considered a QR code when you go to Chipotle.
No. You know why? Because that's information. And a lot of people don't want to give their information. So that's okay, but thank you, because I'm gonna be there. 25?
Thank you. Councilwoman St. John, you have the floor.
All right, good evening. Oh, the social, I feel weird today. Good evening, everyone. All right, so I wanted to start off with talking about some of the projects that I currently have going on. So right now, I am partnering with Ms. Russell and the mayor. If you didn't hear in work session, we will be hosting the first CMA. PGCMA meeting this May. The town has not hosted one in many years. So we will be hosting them this May. So we're trying to get something nice to kind of put the town of Fairmount Heights back on the map and let them know that they have a home here too as well. So we're planning on getting that together. So you guys, this is an open meeting for everyone to attend if they wanted to come, right? Yeah, so, oh, did I still do it wrong?
No, she says.
Oh, okay. So also in addition to that, I am trying to create either a town banner or backdrop. This will be something with obviously the current seal until we come up with the logo, something temporary, but we want to have something that represents us not only when we're doing events, if we're hosting anything downstairs, if we go out to other communities to represent, just kind of something where somebody can stand and talk and have representation of Fairmount Heights. It's also a great backdrop feature for when we do have events in the town and people want to take pictures. So something that would be multi-purpose, so creating a logo for that. And you guys will have more information on that by next work session. I mentioned last week also in the work session that I am working on a strategic plan for the communications area. So some of those visions include, but not limited to, officially forming a committee. So Ms. Russell has been doing a very good job with taking the lead on some of the website things while I'm focusing on social media. Ms. Saromi staying in tune with that. But we want to kind of have something more structural and something that we can kind of have a plan and goals to achieve. So right now we are doing kind of a monthly maintenance to the social media. I just went through and updated some more things as far as giving us more areas, more columns. I've added an email feature so that if someone is going through social media, they are able to reach us. Added the address and the phone number, things of that nature that was not there before. Also, in addition to that, we have the social media archive. And so I also mentioned that I would have a meeting with someone from Civic Plus in that regard. One of the main reasons for social archiving and why I'm looking at that is because social media is also a matter of public record. So if someone's commenting, we're interacting with people, that information can be requested, it can be pulled. We want to make sure we're following the guidelines as far as if something's being deleted, if something is being hidden when we could or could not hide comments. So just want to make sure that we're following the Public Meeting Act and any type of law guidelines that we are supposed to have with social media as well as the website. Touching on the survey, since we just kind of talked about that, so as of right now, as we said, we just sent out the survey, so we do realize that it is a QR code. Not everyone will be accessible to that, right? So this is the initial plan, because although we have many, many residents that do not prefer this method, it honestly is what the majority is reaching out for and what the majority is using. So the plan for that is for us to come up with another second round out, if you will, where we're going to go door to door to every single resident that has not filled out. So when people are filling out the QR code survey, we want to make sure you're actually filling out your address, so that we're not duplicating or wasting any time going to doors that have already been touched. But by the end of this, every single door will be touched that has not filled out the QR code to figure out what the preferred method is. While we're very aware that some people would prefer mail, obviously we want to do the less costly option. Any residents that are requesting that they would like mail to their mailbox will be able to get that option. But what we don't want to do is just mail unnecessarily mailers to people who's just going to throw it away and say it's junk mail. We don't want to keep disseminating flyers to people that's going to let it blow away or just throw it away. So only those people who are truly wanting paper communications should be those that will actually get the communication. And then again, if you prefer websites, social media, we're going to do our 100%, our 110% to make sure that those things are always updated all the time, for you to be able to get that information through any platform. In addition to that, I wanted to touch on the 90th year anniversary that Ms. Saromi mentioned. So as we're getting ready to go into budget conversations, just kind of trying to do an overdraft to help the council and mayor when it's time for us to get together to kind of look like what that would entail, what that kind of would look like as far as funding, so that we're able to start planning ahead and have a course of action that's planned months and months ahead, so we're not scrounging around trying to put something together, since this is going to be a very, very monumental event. And then lastly, am I missing anything? Also I'll be partnering with Councilwoman Bonhurst, so she did mention about the yard sale and the proceeds going to the scholarship fund. I have also tried to make some first contacts out to reach out with Fairmount Heights High School. I know that we have done partnerships with them in the past, and it's kind of strayed away a little bit, but we also want to, I've had conversations with the mayor in regards to youth council, not only the scholarship funds, but also being able to hopefully be able to get students who would be willing to start a program for translation, and other types of things that we can have them help with to be able to get community service learning hours. And that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman St. John. Councilwoman Lethwich.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so several people had mentioned the Economic Development Green Team meeting that was held on March 27th. I am totally elated at the number of people that came out that night, and it really had me energized to try to address some of the things that we talked about and meet again in 2 months. We'll probably try to do that quarterly, where we combine both the Green Team and the Economic Development efforts. And I first wanted to just thank everyone who attended, and some of the key takeaways, and I'll just mention just a couple, because those are the two things that I'm going to be addressing first. One was the strategic plan, and that's something that we would have to actually start from scratch. I don't believe we have one as of right now, but that's something that we will definitely take a look at. Secondly, one of the first priority areas that we will address is the alleyways, and what we will do to improve them, get them possibly either usable, passable, whatever we need to do. So acquiring funding is that first step. And we will be working in collaboration with Ms. Sarumi, the council, and the Fairmount Heights CDC. We will be addressing the funding component. And let's see, I also attended the Town of Capitol Heights, their Easter celebration on Saturday, March 30th. That was a very nice event, and while there I met 4 council members, and they were definitely excited about our work at the Net Zero Project and looking forward to possibly collaborating on other things, including the 4th Sunday that we have the food giveaway. So in addition to the food giveaway, they want to collaborate possibly on other projects. So that was really exciting to have that interest there, as well as I'm working with Vice Chair Barnhart on the Fairmount Heights Parks and Future Development project, with the first meeting scheduled on April 29th. And also, lastly, I attended an event called the Care Fair at University of Maryland College Park. And I met some representatives from the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and those representatives were very interested in the town of Fairmount Heights and our rich history, and wanted to speak to us further and possibly do some collaboration efforts there. So I believe that will conclude my report at this time.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Leftwich. Councilman Oscar?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm happy to be back from a lengthy absence. It's been a long time since I've been here. Had a chance to catch up on some of the town's business, so once I get a chance to collaborate with or talk to the mayor and council, I can finish getting up to speed with some of the town's business. Wanted to say that the summer is quickly approaching, and as the liaison for the Community Service Committee for the youths, I definitely want to look into various programs that can keep the youths of the community pretty engaged for the summer. My main focus is to keep them engaged and to collaborate with some of the council members that were working all through my absence to find programs in PG County, summer programs that is in PG County, because I know that they kind of feel themselves on to keep them occupied. In addition to that, we want to continue the tradition of stationary support for the kids before school, and with the help of Vice Chair Barnhart, I think we can accomplish that again this summer. So that's some of the things that I intend to do or work on for this summer, and I'm happy to be back, like I said.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. Councilwoman Whitcotson?
Yes. I have information in regard to our senior community being alerted with the scams that are being created as far as fraud and trickery. We have a Cheverly village that they're trying to get us to formulate a village here in our community to where our seniors can be listed and kind of be on the uphand with information being disseminated to be aware. They're mailing me some cards, so I'll hopefully be able to get them within this week, maybe tomorrow, to pick them up and disseminate them to the seniors that are shut in. Is to let them know about telephone calls and being aware of QR codes that are bogus, that they're releasing their information, because some of them are allowing people to take their phone and scan things at the door that are making them victims. Along with that, Congressman Glenn Ivey is having a community funding program that you can go on the website and find, where I'll speak with Ms. Sarumi in regard to that. Grants are to be given in the community for us. The seniors with the paper you were speaking of, if I could, I'd like to have at least 40 of those so that they can be checked off, and I bring them back in, that, you know, you can either put them in your system or whatever in this. That way, if I could get a copy before we leave tonight, I can take some of them out. You can have it. And I have a program that possibly will be held for the seniors in the month of June, but I'll give that when we have our work session, and that's my report.
Councilwoman Wood Dawson, may I ask you a question about the community assistance program?
Mhm.
Do you plan to?
Yes. To
Because
formulate it, when I get this and go around, I'm gonna ask again who's interested. Those that wanted it didn't want to be bothered with it now, so,
I'll help you.
okay, that's what I'm saying. If I can get that little checklist of what you said, so many have already called in, those that can't, I can get them to check it off as I go visit. And then when we go back out, we'll have an application. If those wanting to do it, I'll have the adequate information to disseminate them.
Okay, did you finalize the paperwork?
In regard to what Kirsten gave,
Yeah, because
that was supposed to be a finished product. Am I correct? That you had given me, and you said I just had to reiterate it to take it back out into the community.
Right, but we still have to vote.
Right.
If you want to make any changes, we do that, you do that.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, if I can get the paperwork, that'll give a summation of who won it. Otherwise, it wouldn't even,
Be no point in revising
right.
it. I see what you're
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. I'm not gonna, that's wasting time all the way around. If they willing to want it, then it's willing to revise.
Okay.
But why reinvent the wheel if they're not going for what you're giving now?
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
waste your time, for sure.
that's why.
Thank
Sorry, too, if I can clarify. So, Councilwoman Wood Dawson, I'm sorry, so you're asking?
For a copy of the communication form.
the survey.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the survey, Ms. Russell, do we have that in a form where they already can check the boxes? No, I mean outside, and it has all the boxes, because I haven't seen that. Because I think what it sounds like she's saying is she wanted where they can just check everything off.
Yeah, as I go to the door, because I
So we
try
would
to
have,
call
we don't
them.
have that already readily made, we would have to do it in that form.
Okay, so it's one here?
Yeah, I can print it off.
Okay.
The actual form they fill out online, you can print that off as a PDF.
Yeah,
Fill it out.
that's what I'm saying. If I could get 40 of those, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Councilwoman Downing?
Hello, everybody. It's been a long month. I've been on the council for a month now, so it's been learning, trying to get information to move forward. I will have my first committee meeting for public safety on the first Friday of May. And we talked about it, but although I'm public safety, the police department and the chief of police answer to the mayor. What I want to do is, so far, what I'm looking at is, we've already discussed the security cameras. One of the things, several of the things that I want to discuss at my first meeting, because I'll have an agenda with different items and times that we're going to discuss it. The tri-municipality event or meeting with LIS. LIS is a funder for projects. How many millions they gave for the net zero housing?
$1.68 million.
That's it.
And I think in my report last week, I said that they were here on the site
Yeah.
to look at the progress of that.
So after talking to Brian and Marcus, who I met at the civic leadership thing, they said, Councilwoman Downing, we're having a meeting at Capitol Heights, and they want to do it for either the May the 11th or 18th. I tried to talk to the mayor and council about it, but they told me I couldn't put it on the agenda for tonight. So I know Councilwoman Leftwich is economic development, so I wanted to find out from her which dates would, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put us down for both, or I'll be able to go. You want to go too?
Yes.
Absolutely. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, what are those dates again?
It's in the email that I sent that she told me I couldn't discuss it in the...
Okay.
I did
Yeah.
not say you could, I said I wasn't adding it to the agenda.
Okay.
Let's,
All right. Well, do me a favor also. The, you saying that I wrote a grant Can you make sure? Because I want it on record. That's quite an allegation. I wouldn't do anything like that, so let me know.
She said apply for a
Dates
grant,
again.
right? You apply for a grant, that's what I heard.
Make sure you let me know what that is, okay? And my question, I had enough, but anyway. I attended the air quality meeting at Cedar Heights yesterday. The second part is the quadrant pulse oximeter reading. This is something that Chevrolet is doing real big because of the, you haven't been here. I have the flyers, I'm sorry, what's your name again? I know, you probably wouldn't either. Miss Clark was there as well. It's a wonderful program. My plan is to work with the citizens around Tremendo's Towing because they have concerns about the crushing of those cars and what it's doing to our ozone. So definitely to work with them. And as a matter of fact, I gave my first proclamation. Councilwoman gave me the paperwork because she was out of town, and for our long-term citizen, Delaney Colbert, who I knew well, we all knew well, I was able to give his proclamation. And his ceremony was awesome, packed to the gill, and I had no idea what he was to his church community. So I went to Park and Planning, as I said today. They're holding a meeting. They said that they already had a meeting with Council Member Barnhart and former Council Member White, who I am taking her spot. So I asked the people I said, can you include me? So they have included me in the meeting that they're going to have on the 29th with the representatives from Park and Planning. And what we're going to talk about is I want to talk to them about, one, putting porta potties or some type of facilities at the park right there on the corner, because so many of those guys are playing soccer on Sundays, but they have no place to use the restrooms. So I know that can't be a problem, the only problem that we're having it, but have anybody ever talked to them about that before?
Yeah.
So what are they saying? Why they haven't done it? Well, what reasoning did they give that they don't have anything?
I don't know about that. I don't know if you talked to him because he had a problem with using the back of the fields for a bathroom.
Yeah.
Right behind the house. I don't know what happened to that.
All right, because I would wonder why they wouldn't just go ahead and bring them and leave them, but I'm sure they have a reason. So that's one of the things that I want to touch base on. And I think that is, former Councilwoman White was working on using her portion of the ARPA funds for an electric sign like you see at other municipalities. And what I wanted to know was, how do I go about, because I asked in the work session for the paperwork so that I could pick that up, because if I'm not mistaken, we would have had to have signed a contract with a vendor before December the 31st. Is that correct?
The money just has to be allocated before December of 2024. Spent by 2026, I believe she said.
So is that different than what I'm saying about by December the 31st, we would have had to sign a contract with a vendor and have a plan in place before the 31st?
We have a spending plan resolution in place already. The funds have already been allocated. We can always reallocate. However, it's already been allocated, so we have a plan. We just haven't spent the money. We will spend the money before December.
But do you understand my frustration is I'm asking for paperwork, but I'm not getting it.
Councilwoman Downing, I said I provided you with the revised version of the ARPA plan. Susan gave you the documentation.
No, she gave me what was spent already.
That's what you asked for.
No, I'm asking for what money was allocated for the electronic signage and what people have been updated to do the work.
Right here on my phone. Because that was in the spending plan I gave you.
All right, well, you know what? That's the end of my report because it's been a long day. And I thank you all for listening.
So we allocated for the Digital Communication Board $60,000.
I see that right there
She don't have.
for this fourth revision that has not been signed,
I
but I'm
understand
asking
that,
you for,
Councilman.
so that I can pick
I'm
up.
going to revise it to show the changes, and then I will have the council sign. The changes that were previously made, I'm going to update the document to reflect the changes, and I'll have the council sign.
But that's not what I'm asking for, the paperwork, the packet.
Miss,
The packet that has the vendor. Do you have the packet that has
what
the
vendor?
vendor?
I don't have the vendor.
I
She's
thought
talking
you
about the digital signs, the quotes that, because I requested a quote and sent it out too. For the digital display boards. Do we have the quotes for those?
Councilmember White provided the estimate that she had.
Yeah. And I'll look through my records because I got one too.
She provided an estimate that she had. No decision was made by the council for the sign. Mrs. White provided information on a sign, and I believe there was a second. No decision was made. You all did not make a decision to purchase any sign.
She wanted to see what paperwork that she has.
Okay, I'll look to see what I have from Mrs. White, because Ms. White did the research on it and came back and shared the information with the council.
And what I'm asking for is, since I'm taking up, and I do think a sign is an awesome idea, that I'm trying to pick it up and hit the ground running so I know where she left off, where I need to go from here. Do you know where she wanted to put the sign, or where you guys are, because I don't have any minutes from anything, nothing. So,
So the decision, can we come to the front, Mayor?
Yes, please. Here's the email right here.
So the discussion was to purchase one, but probably two signs. One sign will be placed in the front of the building. The other sign, it was not finalized where it was going. There was a recommendation to place it on Sheriff Road, another recommendation to place it at the Ravine. There was no final decision on where that sign would go. There was also no final decision on the design for the sign, because prior to Councilmember White and several others coming on the council, I had shared different renditions or renderings of signs that the town may want to use. But the only one that was decided upon where it would go would be the one that would go in the front of the building. That's the only decision that was made. But the specific sign, no decision was made on what sign. So it's still open. I believe I've discussed this at the work session, some of the options that have been previously considered. A one-sided sign, a two-sided sign, a sign that was encased in brick, a sign that wasn't encased in brick. There were several different recommendations, and if you go back to some of the information that was shared during the ARPA planning sessions and during just various work sessions, you'll see some of those pictures.
Thank
you. And where'd you say we could find that at?
I was saying to the council members, you weren't here, I was saying to the council members that they recall some of the information that I shared and some of the information that Councilmember White shared with just pictures of different signs for the council to consider. I'll pull out what I have that I shared. I'll also look my email from Ms. White for what she shared with the council. But honestly, at this point, what needs to be done is to take a look at electronic signs and decide what type of sign you would like to place in the front of the building and what type of sign you want to place in another area of the town. That's really what needs to happen, because you've already allocated that you already indicated that we want to do that. We have to now just finalize what will the sign look like.
And I guess maybe in the work session, I asked for whatever documentation, because I thought it would be like a folder that you would keep somewhere or on your desktop that would say sign, electronic sign, and that you could hit it and say, boom, Councilwomen Down, and here you go. So I guess maybe that's not how it works.
Mayor Martin, I'm sorry. Mayor Stewart says she just sent you the email from Ms. White that would have the attachment. Again, I will share with you what I shared with the council, which was just different pictures of signs for them to consider what you may want the sign to look like.
Okay, because what I plan on doing, if enough citizens come to my committee meeting, I want to ask them, because what I'm looking at is, I would think we would want optimal vision for the sign. But we'll talk about it. And you remember, we used to have committees for the sign, so that we can have people to bounce things off of. But thank you, and I look forward to whatever you send me. Thank you. That'll be the end of my report.
Thank you. So we're now going down to citizens' participation. Let me pull the email up. So, Kim Gladden, are you on the line? Would you like to ask your question or participate in citizens' participation?
Good afternoon, Mayor. My question was already answered in the chat. Good afternoon, Mayor. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, is she talking now? Mr. Gray, we can...
Kim, can you say something?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Give us 1 second, Kim. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Thank you. My question was already answered in the chat, and it was responded that the information I requested would be sent to me. But thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the other person that registered to speak was Mr. Barnhart.
Good evening, everyone. Martez Barnhart, President of the Citizen Association. Got 3 minutes. Last meeting that the Mayor and Council held, it was said that the mayor did not want to move forward with a ethics board. I'm glad that we got former council people in the house tonight because they know what that is. We're supposed to have an ethics board according to our charter, correct? It is a clear violation that we don't have an ethics board. It was a advertisement that was sent out in the community last October for the community, for people to come in for ethics board. We had several people that came in for the position, but
Mr. Romy, I'm sorry.
That's fine. And we had several people that came in for that position, but they declined due to the unprofessionalism that was given by the town through emails, phone calls, and etc. We in clear violation of the charter by not having an ethics board. Mayor Stewart put this out during her campaign. This is her door knocker, right here. And I'm gonna get straight to the point with this. Quality of life, last on the list. Government accountability. Next, improvement government communications. First on the list. Create better transparency and accountability. If you don't have an ethics board, then you're in clear violation of the charter. And the ethics board is here to hold the council and the mayor accountable. Then how are we in compliance, or how are we gonna hold people accountable? We keep on going here and just moving on along. We thinking that putting up speed humps, a police department, and a couple blinking lights, people could be bought. That's what we're supposed to get. That's what our tax dollars are here for things like that. This right here was a promise to the community, this right here. So, with my 3 minutes, I'm addressing this to y'all, not her, to y'all. Because our charter says that we are Strong council, weak mayor. Okay? Mayor do not run out of town, she's one vote. She's one vote. And if we're doing it the right way, we won't have no division. If we do it the right way, guess what? We won't have no problems. We just filed another complaint with the Attorney General's office, sent in today, about meetings that was held behind closed doors that was not supposed to be taking place. This is the second violation under her watch. The second. Okay? We talking about creating a better transparency and accountability. How are we going to do that? And then we got another violation from the Attorney General's office already gone in again. We are here to make sure that everything is transparent and honest, because when it's done behind closed doors, guess what? That's what wrongdoing. You see what's on my shirt? You guys see it? Okay. This is for this right here. It's for this right here.
But ask,
Yeah.
do we think that the charter is what we're run by and that we should have an ethics committee?
Should we? I want to ask this to Mr. Leftwich. Should we have an ethics committee?
Absolutely.
So why don't we?
You're asking me out of the entire.
I'm asking you.
council.
I'm asking you.
In my opinion, we should have one. I voted, I've been present, and it's not just on me whether they decide to withdraw their interest on the ethics board.
So
However, I believe there should be one. I've voiced that, I've made that perfectly clear. All right.
so why haven't we gone back out to the community to ask more people to be part of the ethics committee, knowing that it's a violation of our charter? You're a very smart woman. That's why I asked you.
Yes, it's my understanding that that's what we were going to do.
So why haven't we?
Good question, but again, I am one vote. That's all it says.
Oh, excuse me.
First of all, wait a minute. Before we go any further, it's for your comment. It's not for the council to respond to your comment.
Okay.
So I will ask the council to refrain from responding or answering a question that you're not prepared to answer. That's all I'm going to say. No. But however, it is citizens' participation, not for you to ask the council general questions. If you would like to be added to the agenda, we can do that so that we can present this to the people.
I'd like to be added on the next month's meeting.
And I appreciate that. And
Thank you.
Ms. Russell, please make sure you put Citizens Association, and your topic will be Ethics Board?
Ethics Board.
Ethics Board on the agenda for next month work session. Councilwoman Wood Dawson?
Yes, as a city council member and authentically being in the position that I sit on my seat, I am a vote of one. The question was asked to make accountability for us as a unit. We sit here, one mayor and 6 council members. Each one has a vote. Our charter, I have reiterated since you all came on as appointed to present. Our charter was formulated in 1935. I don't care if it's never corrected until 2095. We have to abide by the written charter as is until formulated, amended, an addendum, something that has been reallocated and approved by us or brought to the table to be addressed. We should have a ethics board.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. What we're going to do is, Ms. Russell, please get the flyer ready to go back out to the community so that we can see if we can get more people to apply for the ethics board.
But are we going to answer their email? Are they going to answer their emails?
Oh, I don't know. We're going to put the flyer back out to the community.
All right.
And try to solicit new members to the ethics board, and then we will make sure that we communicate with them on a regular basis but I don't know what type of cases they're gonna be reviewing. I don't know how we give them cases. I don't know all the rules. So I'm gonna count on Wood Dawson to fill me in on all of that, because I'm not sure how we proceed, but however.
You proceed by the charter.
The charter only says, the charter does not list what type of cases the ethics
You
board
have
hears.
an ethics.
That paper does not say anything, Ms. Wood Dawson.
Other municipalities,
Yes.
Right, but I'm saying the paper that was given to me.
I'm gonna tell you, it's a state function, and the
Right.
town can go to the state.
And that's what we'll do.
That's right.
That's what we'll do.
That's how it has been done.
Municipal operations that you don't have to know anything about right now, but if the town decides to adopt it, the state will provide the.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Southacks. No, I appreciate that information. Ms. Russell, can you reach out to the state tomorrow to find out about ethics training for all of us? Okay, does that satisfy this question for now? Did you have something, Councilwoman St. John?
I really did. I'm sorry, because I know we're trying to get off of it. So if I would just like to state for the record too, coming in as a new council member, everybody was on board with this topic for the record. We've talked about it several times. Everybody had been aligned that we needed an ethics board. Part of the trouble that we couldn't do in the way that we could do it. There was nothing saying this is how we should do it, this is how it's been done, just the charter says, the charter says. So we were kind of forced to throw this together without sitting down and really having a plan. So we forced it together, we got people, they applied, but there was no course of action to kind of follow through, which with, decreased council members and everyone running through different things, we just didn't have a person to take the lead and say this is what needed to be done. And as far as I realized that there had been a couple of years since there's been an ethics board, so even some of the people that were already on the council still was not privy to the way that was done. So I think going forward, before we put this back into place, while it is absolutely, very, very important to do so, we need to have a plan. We can't just throw this back out here and say, sign up for the ethics board, and then we're back in the same place. We need to have a plan. The training is a great idea, so not just one person holds knowledge and decides what of that knowledge we get. Everyone gets the knowledge, everyone knows what to do. And when we ask these people to represent us, they have clear understanding of the charter, they have a clear understanding of what's expected, and we know what we should be presenting to them. And that's all I want to say about it.
Thank you.
can I make a comment?
I'm sorry, we're gonna have to.
No, if she can make a comment, I can make a comment.
Okay, go ahead,
All
Councilwoman
right.
Downey.
Where I am disappointed is before I got on this council, I hit these streets and I brought in a very qualified young lady, an attorney.
You did.
And she was ready. She interviewed. You all were getting ready to swear in. But she, along with the other young lady, said that it almost was that you all didn't want them.
We weren't prepared.
So if you're not prepared,
but we're going to get prepared.
But you're saying that you don't want an ethics committee.
Nobody said that.
You
said we are not ready for an ethics board at this moment.
You said that you did not want an ethics committee until you redid the
charter,
I said we weren't ready.
The
paperwork.
I never said we didn't.
You know what?
For us, it's for the people.
I get it.
What I don't understand
I'm sorry I said that.
When you don't know
what I said. When I don't
guess
know.
what? Guess what?
When I don't know what I asked for.
The town of Fairmount Heights.
It is. Ms. Clark, come on, Ms. Clark, would you like to come up here?
Unethical right there.
I'm sorry.
That's unethical.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Clark.
Sorry.
You manipulate.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't, she said
we forgot y'all was even there.
But it's okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
My question is for, I'm Ms. Clark from J Street, and my question is for Councilmember Wood Dawson and Councilmember Downey.
Yes.
Because during the February work session, you, Councilmember Wood Dawson accepted the opera committee, and she solicited Downey's help. You asked her to help, and she said yes about the program for money to be spent for the community to help upgrade their.
And that's what I just asked for, the paperwork to take out to the community. I've been asking. And certain ones don't want to be affiliated because of the scams if you go through our community, you see houses being sold already. They're already feeling intimidated because they know taxes are going up. They don't want to participate. So I'm willing to get the
Okay, let
paper
her
to
get her
go
question
back
out.
out.
We
No,
going
I'm
out.
trying to, yeah, but
We going
I'm
out.
not saying
Can
it's
she,
dormant.
can she finish her
Yeah,
statement?
let us
She
finish.
didn't
Go
even
ahead,
finish.
Yeah, well, you brought my name up. Is
But-
that what
because
you
she
didn't
was-
understand?
You didn't let her finish,
Let her
Councilwoman
finish.
Wood
You
Dawson.
good.
Go ahead, Ms. Clark.
Because I brought your name up because you accepted the committee
Right.
when it was offered to you.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to find out is when is the paperwork, because I asked the question online during work session, will there be something coming into the community for the citizens to apply?
And that's what I just now said, if you were listening. Ms. St. John
That's a
said
yes.
she would give me the paperwork
The
with,
paperwork Ms. St. John was giving you was a survey.
And
Yeah,
what
for
I'm
how
saying-
they want to receive their communications from the town by email or.
And what-
Councilwoman
that's
Leftwich has already
flyers.
provided you.
what I'm trying to get you to understand, that in conducive with the application, I'll be going out, I said I'm going out to the seniors. I'll make sure I don't leave your house out. And with those that I go out to, I've done it before, and those that I reached out to didn't want to participate because of the discord that they see, that can see on our YouTube. Their grandchildren and children are bringing it
So
up.
are you making the statement that
it's
people
right
are not
here.
applying
I
for
got it.
It's right here,
$1,500 because of the
residential, and here's
discord?
the
That was a part
application.
of my
She
report.
just got it
I
tonight.
just said it. No, I had it. I just said to my report, even she said, it's no need in reiterating or revising something that's not wanted. So when I come to you, I know
She-
you're
you
one
answered her
that want it,
question.
correct?
Okay, will you have a dollar amount on how much per household will
Yes.
be able
Is
to
that on here?
spend
Yes.
and what the requirements are?
What's on here? Does it say it on there?
Right there.
All
It's
right.
not to exceed.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on the website.
But that has to be approved by the council
That's it.
first.
It's-
Okay.
There yet.
it's
All right.
not- that's what
See,
that's
these
now.
two were working on it before I came on the council
And
last
that's
month.
what I just said.
Okay, so apparently she got it by herself, so tonight I said I was gonna help her. So now, I would have put this on the website. What I'm
it
hearing
hasn't
her
been
say is that now they have to vote for it.
No, it's
So-
no, it's
The whole
not.
council.
It's not a vote for anything. It's just to review the policy to make sure. It's already been legally reviewed by the attorney. We just have to agree that those are the terms that we're gonna put out to the community.
All right.
That's it.
So if you're gonna agree to the terms, is there a reason why we can't agree to the terms tonight?
Well, one, we don't know if there have been any other changes to the document, and nobody's had an opportunity to review it again.
No, say that again, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
One, we don't know if any changes were made from the time the lawyer looked at it
Right.
until today. And two, the council hasn't had an opportunity to review it. So no, we can't make
It's
that
no
decision
different.
So
tonight.
if they just gave you this.
No,
you
she's
don't
had
even-
that for months. She's
It's
had
no
that.
different than, this is the exact document that Ms. Leftwich gave me. And
Right.
like she said, we have to go back over it
Right.
to see if it's suitable.
But we were waiting
Along
on you
with
to,
that,
because
and
I
being
asked you
able to
last
go
month about
into
it
the
as well.
community. I'm not the holdup.
So just what we on the same page.
Okay,
You
so
and I
let
on
me
the
get
same
back
page.
to citizens' participation. Ms. Syfax?
Is this yours or mine? 'Cause I'm
It's okay,
fine.
it's okay. I'm sorry,
Okay, let's go.
we trying to,
Please.
No, you can't. Hold on.
come on now, we gotta come in the 20th century.
Okay, I have just several little points I'd like to make. In terms of rental property, I know that I'm always, the town gets in touch with me about the rental property license. And I heard this, that property owners have a choice between the county and Fairmount Heights. I think that needs to be resolved if it's true. And I think that the licensing process should include an inspection of the property, and it should pass inspection. I know on 60th Place, people didn't have rats and just were a big problem, so there should be an inspection along with the, I think it's a $200 license fee.
No, it's 100.
Whatever, oh, yeah, anyway, whatever it is. I know with the county, the property has to be inspected at each renewal just to make sure that it's, still in good shape. And I know a lot of these rental properties that we have in the town are under the radar, and they're awful, and they're not fit for human habitation. Also, on 60th Avenue, the 700 block, there's somebody moved into a new house, and they have a bunch of great big trucks. So I don't know whether anybody's done anything about that.
I'm sorry, Ms. Fairfax, what was the address on that again?
I don't know, it's where that little church used to be. It should be something like 708 or something like that. Used to be a little church there.
Thank you.
And they took up all the sod and put gravel down and got 3 great big, those tractor trailer, like trucks. And I don't think you can park business vehicles like that.
Okay. I'll have Mr. Pinckney take a look at
Okay.
that.
Now, we had brought up something about the foxes and all these other animals and whatever. I know I was working with a lot of citizens that had neighbors that had just junk and stuff where the rodents habitate. The man next door to me took down a wood fence and didn't throw it away and just put it in the back of the new fence he put up, and just the guy that does my grounds found out he had about 20 rats living there. So the guy did remove the debris, and that took care of the rat problem. So a lot of these rodents and stuff come from just unsanitary situations in people's yards and stuff. So I think that's another case for maybe some more hours for code enforcement. I really think that it might be good to have just in terms of having an organized approach to code enforcement, to have a problem property list and have citizens contribute to it. And I think that in addition to Councilwoman Downey, who has a committee of citizens and other interested people participating and contributing to how the town performs her area. I think that's one of the things that we always had tried to encourage the council people to do, to have committees of citizens. Don't, just have input. This will eliminate a lot of controversy, and one of the things you'll find is that a lot of times things just need to develop. And you might have one idea, but when you talk to other people, ideas develop and grow and build, and you have a community input. You had, and I'd like for you all to really think about giving communications methods and deciding on making big changes. Give it some time. You've heard of voter disenfranchisement. When you make these changes, especially when they involve technology,
Yes.
you lose.
Yes.
This is what they talk about, on the national scene, about voter disenfranchisement. They even say that, and I don't believe this, that that the voting rules discriminate against black people because they require an ID. Well, that's ludicrous to me, but this is a big argument. But you really have to really be careful about making sure that the members of your community have a voice. And I know at one point in the meeting you all said you all can go door knocking. That's a really good approach. But the flyers, I just think you really have to give things a chance And like I tried to sign up and my phone just wouldn't work. It came up with a Gmail account that I don't use. I use Yahoo and I don't know the password. It just, some things just simpler putting on pen and paper.
Choice.
Now, the last thing, the mayor mentioned some legislation that she's going to propose about people using the town's name in applying for grants. I hope that you also consider the reverse, that if the mayor and council or the mayor or council member is going to endorse something, a project or whatever, that they run it by and get it approved by the mayor and council. Case in point, the elementary school at Addison Road and 61st Avenue. We had heard that UCAP was going to put the headquarters there. We couldn't find out anything from anybody about, what is this about? The president of UCAP was very rude and nasty to us when we had meetings. We couldn't find out anything. And then one day somebody sent out a video of a big banquet and celebration that they had because they had gotten $1 million or something to make that UCAP headquarters. They also had already spent tens of thousands of dollars on plans and renderings, and that was shown on the video. And then the shock of all shocks, the mayor of Fairmount Heights.
Mayor Lilly?
We had been asking her about it. We've been asking everybody, what is this about? And the town had gone out. The town had gone out and gotten hundreds or some, whatever, endorsed this big project. And when citizens asked about it, the people on the block asked about it, and they had some very, very valid concerns about that. Nobody told, so please, let's make sure that any type of endorsement, funding, and especially anything that involves making a change on somebody's street and their day-to-day, that the mayor and council, deliberate and make it public.
Okay.
But nobody should, Mayor Martin's just lied. And then she's on the video. Oh, this is going to be the greatest thing. Anyway.
Thank you.
I hope that we will.
I wrote the notes, and they were very good points.
I hope that we will come up with a problem property list, because there are a lot of citizens. I know when I was going around during the pandemic, there are a lot of areas that have a lot of rodents and stuff, and we probably have a lot less problems because I found out those piles of wood and stuff, those are habitats.
Yep. Thank you. Ms. Akundawaka.
I'm sorry, I couldn't use the.
It's okay. We trying to work out the kinks. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you guys for continuing with the blueprint that was left for you. They might say, okay, speed humps and whatever, but those speed humps were asked for a many year. And I want to thank you guys for continuing. Now, they had to push it through, so I still thank you for doing so.
Thank you.
And that council did that too. If there's nothing in the charter that would prohibit me being, under the circumstances, being removed from the council, if there's nothing in the charter that would prohibit me, I would like to apply to be one of the ethics members.
I don't think it's anything not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay. All right, well, tell me where I need to do from here, and I'm on board.
Give Ms. Russell your email address and she'll send you the information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Want to give me to it now?
Yeah, you can. Is there anybody else that wasn't able to sign up? Ms. Waiters? Good evening.
I was online and I came around here because it concerns me. I saw 2 people walk out of the meeting, apparently, and I asked them when we were in the work session whether the agenda was going to be as long as it was during the work session, because that was a pretty lengthy meeting. Several questions have been asked during this meeting that individuals should know about, having sat on the council before. The assistance program, you started it and you passed it on to her. Well, you, Councilmember Downing, when we talked about it that particular night that she said she wanted to take on, you said that you would help her. Then when she explained what she wanted to do, you backed out of it and said that was okay.
You did.
Okay. All right. So now you're back in. So no, ma'am, I'm talking. See, what you do is you overtalk people.
Yeah, you can't interrupt.
You overtalk people. Okay. No, 3 minutes. I have the floor, and the mayor's sitting right here. Okay. All right. No. Okay. So anyway, the assistance program, Councilman Wood Dodson, you're asking for a form or whatever. We have had several meetings about that, and it didn't move anywhere. You've been sitting on this for quite some time, but I'm going to leave it right there because I'm going to follow up with you. I don't need a response. I'm just putting this in public record. Weak Mayor, let's be very, very careful because this has come before us again. Please read what a weak mayor is, because a weak mayor does not control your budget. The council does. And in our charter, the mayor presents the budget to the council. Public participation, when I sat there, I watched, my camera off, I'm listening. When it came to public participation, that's our time. You all took it right back into discussion.
We did.
That's our time for you to listen and or answer our questions. You went right back into discussion. And I heard several announcements, but I did not hear the bicycle rodeo.
You know what? And as soon as I finished mine, I totally forgot, but the bicycle rodeo.
Okay. I just want to end by saying this. I came because the dissension that they're talking about, I see it. Okay. Everybody sees it, and everybody's tired. Okay. It's coming off that corner right there, and I ain't ashamed to say, it's a whole lot of arguing going back and forth. You know, a whole lot of arguing going back and forth. And I want to say this to, it is. I'm just saying, stop arguing back and forth. I'm not talking about the quorum. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there. I want to talk about UCAP. I'm gonna leave it right there because I want to talk about UCAP.
Don't forget to say the bike rodeo. Don't forget to do the.
Okay, sir. I'm Mr. Barnhart.
This was arguing back and forth. We're not arguing back and forth.
Mr. Barnhart, I'm sorry, Mr. Barnhart.
She's still mad.
It just happened again.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, order, council. Please allow.
It just happened again.
I gave Mr. Barnhart overtime. I gave Ms. Syfax overtime. I've given everybody overtime. So why she can't have a few more minutes? Wait a minute. He didn't just get up here.
It's going back into.
Okay. All right. Councilwoman.
It's my time.
I'm sorry. Ms. Waiters, go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank
One
you.
more minute.
Okay, so I want to go to UCAP.
One more minute.
I want to go to UCAP because I mentioned the UCAP, and I do sit on the board of UCAP, and I want to reiterate, every time I found out something was going on in the town of Fairmount Heights concerning UCAP, I brought it to this table. When I found out they acquired both properties, I brought it to the table. I don't know about this meeting and the mayor agreeing and all the above, but the mayor and council was informed of what I knew about. There was a meeting that people attended, a public meeting. So I think you all need to follow up with the accusations with UCAP. I'm gonna leave that right there too.
Thank you. Is there any more citizens participation?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Bike rodeo.
The revised copy of your
You sent it
documents, original and the revised copy.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. All right, so if we don't have any more citizens participation, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
free.